Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. Thoughts and opinions expressed during this series may not be the same viewpoints as YouTube or our advertisers. Viewer discretion is advised, and this is not a news broadcast. Welcome, everybody, to Yankees Outdoor Adventures. This is a collaboration with Hiking Deep, and we are talking monthly about different conspiracy theories that we research each month, and we bring an open chat conversation to you guys. So tonight, of course, is the simulation hypothesis is what we will be talking about. And before I get too far into anything, Ford, I want to go ahead and say welcome to the show again tonight. Thanks for being here, brother.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me. This is a lot of fun.
Oh, it is. I really enjoy diving into this stuff and doing the research we've been doing, especially when we hit topics that maybe I'm not so much supportive of. It's still eye-opening to dive in and try to understand why people are so open to. And the Matrix happens to be one of those type of things. This is it's a really far out theory in one aspect, but then again in another aspect, it has a lot of logic behind it. And what did you think of your research going through, Ford? You was it what you expected, or?
No, not at all. I have a degree in philosophy and advanced religious studies. And this is something that when I was going to university, we never touched upon. So when it came up as a topic and we were going to develop it into a conversation, I had to dive in and do a lot of research on it. And it has been very enlightening. I'm kind of riding the fence on it. There are certain theories, hypotheses that give it a lot of relevance. There are elements of the simulation theory as to where I have to say it makes sense. But then, if a person is grounded in faith, grounded in religion, you're going to have your detractors. You're going to have your deniers.
And why it turns the table, because I think that's a good point for me to right now. Well, first let me wave out there at Miss Stratton in the house. Hello and welcome. And Food Forest is here also. Great to see you here, my friend. I think that's a great segue to point out, though. There is one major factor that you have to accept for the theory of the living inside of a man-made simulation to work. And that acceptance has to come into the fact of human consciousness. What is human consciousness in the first place? And is it something that can be created by man? Can man create the human consciousness, the zest that makes us what we are? If you're a spiritual person, you will say that that's your soul, or your whatever it is you may want to call it.
Right.
That's the leap of faith you really got to make with this, because if you aren't able to create a sentient being, a self-aware sentient being, then of course there would be no Matrix, no simulation that we're all living in. So that is probably the biggest leap. But it's easy for science, because science can make us less special. Science has a great way of doing that. And then we get into the actual theory itself. And hello, Wood Pigeon, welcome, my friend. Great to have you here. And Jack, great to see you.
Well, now, along the same lines that what you're discussing now, but we're also looking at it as if, okay, we're all looking at the simulation from the viewpoint of the simulation, and that is basically equal to us living inside a cave and seeing the reflection of the fire bouncing off the cave walls and explaining that as reality. We're limited as to by our technology and our physics. And every day we have leaps in technology. And if we're talking about a civilization that is 1,000 years, maybe tens of thousands of years ahead of us, who knows where we could be? And for an example of this, during our research, I know you got into Elon Musk a whole lot heavier than I did, but Elon was talking about how a few decades ago we were just mystified to sit in front of a monitor or a television and watch two bars go up and down the side of the screen while a bouncing ball called Pong was in play. And now we've got VR headsets, Call of Duty. So many advancements has been made in game playing and role playing and sim technology. We're real close to being able to immerse ourselves in an artificial atmosphere where you can't tell it from reality.
Right. And see, now to stick up for the scientists for a minute on the viewpoint of the physics of all this, you got to play along the steps. Okay. And again, if you are able to accept that you can create consciousness, and now you're able to accept that you're able to create a world where this consciousness can live its own life. Mathematics now comes into a major play. Okay? And guys like Elon Musk, and there's a few other scientists that sided with him. Guys like Elon Musk, they're doing the number aspect of it. Okay, and here you go. Here's the breakdown. If you assume all these aspects already, now you're assuming that we already create a civilization that lives inside itself. Then it's only safe to assume that we gave that civilization the same intelligence that we have, and it itself can create a simulation.
Right.
All right. I know it's like, wow, right? Yeah. But once you get to that point, this is where mathematics makes it easy to believe you're in a simulation. Because once you get to that point, you not only have people creating simulations, you have simulations creating simulations, you have simulations creating simulations infinitely. Because, of course, they would all do the same thing. Okay, so now why does this make the mathematics say you are in a simulation? Well, because according to mathematics, there's only one real world, and there's a potentially millions of synthetic ones. So what are the odds you're in the one real world? The odds aren't real good. According to mathematics and science, it actually places you in a simulation. So there's your scientific spin of all that on how that, how it could come to play.
That was very eloquent and dead on. And one thing that I came across is that if one is going to dive into this and look at this as a reality, then one has to accept evolution. One has to accept the fact that we're not governed by the laws of physics and spirituality that we assume we are. You really have to be open-minded philosophically to even delve into this as a reality.
Right. This right here, I popped it on the screen a minute. I got to pull it back off so that I can actually see it again. But I'm sorry. And a great welcome to everybody in the chat room, by the way. Jack D said, I think technology is used to alter reality, not necessarily create reality. Boy, I couldn't argue much with that opinion, because we definitely alter opinion, and I definitely am a believer that we create our own reality. So opinion is reality in a sense, and we definitely alter that with media, movies, and you name it. Yeah, anything you want to add to that, Ford? Oh, uh-oh. I having technical difficulties. Try it again, brother. We'll get you back in there. But yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. We kind of lost Ford for a few minutes, but I'm sure he will come back. Whose world am I in? I want to talk to the creator. Well, that poses a whole nother valuable question. If I just pose it like this, I will. If mankind began to accept this as a liable theory, okay, say it became a fad, and everyone began to believe in the matrix theory, does that mean potentially we would have a church that prayed to a teenage boy on his computer who made the simulation? Who would be the creator? Or would the creator be the creator of the original creation? Wow. Boy, what happened, Ford? I lost my brother tonight. Let me see if we got anybody else. Guys, if you got any questions or any input you want to add, here we go again. Let's try it again. I think I got you, bro.
Yes. Technology, man. That's exactly what we're talking about.
It's the Men in Black. The Men in Black trying to shut down our conversation. But I lost you right when Jack D said that, he thinks technology is used to alter reality instead of necessarily create reality. You got any opinions on that?
First I want to say, hey, Jack, what's up, man? I have no argument. That would have to be an absolute necessity, as to where perhaps I've lost my train of thought. So to answer to make okay, well,
I pointed out just the fact that we do alter reality by altering opinion, but to get ourselves back on track, you gotta love it doing live formats, guys, and we actually put a lot of planning and timing into stuff, and then one little thing throws a wrench in, and it's like takes a minute to get back on your feet. But let's just roll right back into though.
What was Jack's comment? What was he saying?
Just that he thought technology is used to alter reality, not necessarily to create it.
Well, that could be very well true, but at some point, it has to be created. From nothing, you can only have nothing. So there has to be something that sparks that creation in the first place.
So there you go. I mean, that takes a whole new turn on the entire thing. Anyway, I guess to say if you were in a matrix, the spark of creation is the power switch, is it not?
Yeah, exactly. And who is the creator? So is it God?
Well, and now let's wait a minute though, because you couldn't answer me with one name if I asked you who was the creator of a video game.
That's true.
So in all actuality, maybe there wouldn't be one creator. This would be a multiple team of people. Years of research and hundreds of people to create real life simulation.
Oh, I agree with that. That's why they have credits roll at the end of every movie, every TV show, and every game. That's right. It takes a team. So
it does. It does exactly.
And looking at it from a biblical standpoint, and I'm just going to put the Christianity out there. The first book of the Bible is Genesis, and it says, "Let us create man in our own image." It's the pluralization of creation. That goes along with what you're talking about. It's a team effort.
Right.
That's going to irritate a lot of people, but that's exactly what it means. It does not say a singular; it's pluralization.
Well, it is. I think, though, again, that's the dive into religion is to, well, it's pretty much to crucify ourselves up here anyway. But
I agree.
No pun intended. But I mean, really. So we have to be gentle around that topic, and that's just because of the reality that is painted. And by the influence of others.
Right.
Hey, kind of like what Jack said.
Yeah. That's it, man. Yeah, our overlords will come in and shut us down. They'll pull the plug in our little sim theory. So
they could do it quite easily.
Let's play by the rules.
I mean, essentially, though, when it comes down to, because we're 16 minutes in here already. These are 30-minute show, guys. So if you have any input or anything you want to add to the show, jump in and say it. Don't hold back. We allow open conversation in here, of course, greet each other and whatnot. But if you have an opinion, your opinion is valid here, regardless of what it is. This is a safe place. So ideally, that we ask when it comes to the audience is that you don't voice your opinions to each other and start arguments. Just voice them to us, though. Feel free to voice your opinion on any aspect. What's up, guys? Wanted to stop in. Well, welcome, Walt. It's great to have you here, my friend. And
this is a conflict-free zone. Come in, discuss, share opinions, but there's no reason to belittle anyone or to troll the situation. If you don't like the content, over there's another channel.
Yep, straight up. So I mean, we'll talk about probably some more racier things too as we go on in this series. So again, if I want it to be a place that you can feel safe to voice all the opinions, so that everyone has a fair opportunity. But in doing that, Ford, in voicing all the opinions, you in your research, you dealt with a researching a gentleman that he doesn't so much believe we could be in a simulation. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I came across a physicist named Dr. Michio Kaku, and he says no computer simulation can simulate the universe. Only the universe can simulate itself. Meaning that there's no construct of mathematics, of technology that can create the vastness of the space that's around us. And we're a tiny, tiny microcosm of that space. And why would anything create such a vastness and then focus on a pinhead? And so that really put things in perspective. And another thing that I came across was
just as many variables, though, as it takes for, say, a lightning storm. To think that you could create that, let alone create an entire life, and then a life that can reproduce. I mean, this is a pretty big achievement, even for our future, even for our future.
You and I had a conversation, and along these lines is that I threw out dreams. If we are a sim, why would we dream? Why would we even need sleep? So the dream aspect of the simulated reality, that to me throws the monkey wrench in the whole thing, because every human being has to rest. Every human being has to get sleep. That's one of the many things that we all have in common. And most of us dream. And dreaming is in itself crossing into another plane of subconscious reality. So that would be completely absurd for a creator of a sim to put that into the simulation. It's absurd.
And then see, but even that has the argument of, again, accepting all the variables it would take to get to a simulation, the argument would just simply be that wouldn't the creator of the simulation, if he was, his desire was to create
Yankee, you froze.
something.
You froze.
Oh, did I freeze up?
Yes, sir.
If his desire was to create something that was identical to him, then would it not dream?
Man,
you know, I mean, a perfect example, a sci-fi example. Any Star Trek fans out there? Data was an android built by a man who was a sanctioned being. Okay, so this kind of actually makes those leaps. It gave a soul to a computer. But in the storyline, a thing that he also had an ability to do was dream. His creator let him know why he dreamed, and it was because that's what gave him a more realistic human experience. So,
when we came across this, it sounds silly, but I've never had a sheep's mind, a dog's mind, a gorilla's mind. I've always had my mind. And when a sheep wants to go to sleep, does it count herders?
Very possible.
Yeah, who knows, man? Who knows? You know, one thing, another gentleman that I ran across in my studies for this is a man who wrote a book, The Illusion of Reality, and his name is Professor Jim Al-Khalali. And Dr. Al-Khalali, he put everything into perspective. Perception is the correct word. Do we perceive, or are we gathering information that we've been taught and funneled? Are we channeled to react, act, and think a certain way? And his example is that if you've never seen the cosmos, and then when you see the cosmos, are you going to recognize that as the cosmos? Right? It's the perception of things. And we were talking earlier, I see the color blue, but I don't see the color blue like you. You see a different blue. Well, and you use the rainbow effect, which I thought was brilliant.
Because it's not just the colors about a rainbow, though. There's a true fact about a rainbow. You may stand with a few people and see a rainbow all together, but no two of you see the rainbow the same. And not just the colors, but also the shape, the width, the size. All of this changes with your point of view. No two people can have the exact same point of view. That's why no two people could see a rainbow in the same way. You know, that thinking about more of the makeup and the point of view, when you get down microscopic enough, as far as what we know about the world around us, everything is created of atoms, and all these atoms look identical. If you were to magnify all of this enough to see the atoms in the wall, you would also see the atoms in me, and I would look like the wall, and the wall would look like me. We would be identical to one another. So, in the perspective of the viewer, the world changes constantly.
Yeah,
you know, would I even exist to something that's seen me in that perspective, or would I just be the other masses, like the other masses that are around? You know?
Dr. Al-Khalali, he spoke upon that, and it just blew my mind. He gave me things. He fed me foods of thought. And this whole thing about perception, oh my goodness, it has really caused me. It in a way, I had an epiphany, and I think that the book is The Illusion of Reality. I think I'm a better person for reading this book, understanding his thoughts, his viewpoints. I'm not a real. I try not to be. There's been times, even on YouTube, where I've been a hothead, but I try to keep my emotions in check. And after reading this book on perception, man, it's just I'm even more prone now to stop and think before I react. It's in a way, this book has been life changing. And without this, what we're doing tonight, I would have never come across this gentleman, this professor, or this literature. I would have never known it existed. I'm better for it.
Right. Well, I'm going to second that. That's probably the thing I love the most about doing this series is the fact that that we dive into things that I wouldn't have come across if it wasn't for doing this. We're 26 minutes in. Ford, let me ask you this, and of course, this is just opinion.
Sure.
Are we in a simulation?
Are we? So you're asking my blunt opinion on?
Yep.
Okay.
And you can ask me back when you're done.
Oh, I will. No, I don't. No, we're not in a simulation.
And what
is
it that concludes that for you, though?
Well,
I mean, you understand the research, and what is it that concludes it for you that guys, when you go to sleep tonight, don't worry about lightning storm hitting the mainframe. You're safe because you're not a simulation.
Well, here's the thing. Life is random. No matter how you prepare for it, no matter how prepared you think you are, life will throw you curves. And the measure of a man is not how many times he gets knocked down, but the measure of the man is how many times he gets back up. And if everything was preordained, predestined, we would not have these struggles and trials. And if everything was simulated and rolled out as a program, we wouldn't have to go through the things that we do. And like, for example, emotion. I have been stabbed, shot. I've been in fights. And I swear to you, I have never experienced any physical pain like the pain of heartache, the pain of loss. And there's no simulation in the world that can give me that human emotion, that compassion.
Yeah, you're getting, and Jack, Jack pointed it out also, his last comment was about reality is your perception. And yeah, we do agree on that. But he did point out somewhere else also that it is too complex. And see, that's what I'm saying, though. Those are those variables. And I'll go ahead and answer the emotional question.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but the emotional.
I'll go ahead and answer my own question and say I don't believe we are in a simulation either. And it's all those variables that are, like we said, the millions of variables it would take just to create one lightning storm is nothing compared to what it would take to create a man or woman, mankind, and then to give them all the variables that you have in life, emotions, feelings, pain. That and the fact that I also am a believer. And again, my opinion, I'm not trying to force opinion on anybody else in any other way, but in my opinion, man cannot create the divine spark that man carries. That there is something bigger than us, but it's not a simulation. And that's, again, that's my opinion. Doesn't have to be anyone else's.
Right. Well, to me, it comes down to emotion. To me, it comes down to emotion, and we're emotional animals. We all want to belong. We all want to be a part of a group, no matter how much you think you're a loner. There's an inner drive to have compassion and companionship, and so I don't think that is not digital code. There's something so much more. There's something divine in that.
And so, you know what? Go ahead, and we're at 9:29. I do want to thank everybody for coming out. Ford, do you want to wrap with any closing, and then I'll put a closing on, and we'll shut this thing down.
I want to thank everyone who has come in and contributed. I want to thank everyone who has given us their time. Yankee and I are raw at this. This is a learning curve. This is a learning process.
Uh-oh, we froze out. Think I lost you, brother. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know if you guys still got me or if we lost everybody. But we are at our time to back out. So let me say this. Sorry that we lost Ford there on his final thoughts. But guys, ultimately, if this is or if this is not, wait a minute, I think I might got it. Are you back in there, Ford?
I'm back. Did you hear anything that I said?
Go ahead and give us your rap, man.
Man, I laid out some of the heaviest, most eloquent shit that you'll ever hear on the internet. And it's gone. It was like that scene from Forrest Gump when he was standing at the pool.
Well, I tell you what, if you want, I can go ahead and just put the wrap on it at this point.
You close this out, man. I can't.
All right, guys, like I was about to say, and I will say, regardless, I want you to think about this. Regardless, if you are in a simulation or you're not in a simulation, the life you are living is real. It is your reality. So what is the difference? What does it matter if it was created by God or it was created by a cool school kid? Nevertheless, your reality is your reality.
That's it, man. Just try to love one another. Yeah, try to love one another. Try to learn how to respect yourself, and then you can love the world around you.
That's it.
So, yeah, man. So that's a synopsis of the bullshit that I just laid out. So, cheers, everybody.
And thank you again. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight.
Thanks, everybody.
Greatly appreciate all you guys. Next month, we got a really, really cool topic coming up next month.
Man, next month we're gonna dive into let's just wait.
You guys just wait?
Yeah.
It's out of this world.
I'm excited. Yeah. It won't be sloppy like this one. Next month.
Well, no, because next one we got a lot of different things lined out.
As a teaser, let me just say it's out of this world.
Yes, definitely.
All right, man. Definitely. I love you.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody. And until trails meet again.
All right. Bye.
And